I'm Robert Lewis from Balmforth Estate Agents in Milton Hall, doing sales, lettings, a little bit of commercial as well. When we opened 20 years ago, we were the smallest agent in the town. We're now quite a large independent agent, employ about 22 staff, based in the centre of town, 50% sales, 50% rentals. Many years ago, our IT support, we had a mixture of different companies we dealt with, from sort of one-man band to larger companies not based local. And we struggled a little bit with both. The one-man band wasn't able to give us the sort of 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support we needed. The larger companies were inflexible, expensive, which is why we then ended up with Press Start, who are local, are of the right size to support our operation, and that's one of the reasons therefore why we switched to them. Yeah, the reason we chose to work with Press Start is that they offer the right balance of what we needed for IT support. We cover quite a wide variety of applications. We have 20 users, so we're a reasonable sized business, and we wanted someone that could support all those features, including modern telephone systems. And they were local, around the corner. We get to know the staff very well. We're on first name terms with everybody here. And for us, IT support is probably one of the most important aspects of the business. So Press Start really ticked all the boxes for us in what they were able to offer in the way of support as a business to us. The way we initially found about Press Start is when we were struggling a little bit with our previous IT support, and it was through recommendation from actually another estate agent in the town who at that time had been using Press Start. I then had an initial meeting with Justin and one or two of his team, and straight away we felt that they could step in and give us the support that we needed, and that's how it has really been ever since. Where we are now with our IT and the help that we now get, we think is very much the right balance. We always get an instant response. If we need flexibility in what is offered to us, we get it. We negotiate with Press Start once a year to agree the level of our service. So probably 75-80% of the support we need is part of a fixed contract, and we choose then that anything that's a bit more erratic or unusual we either do on a chargeable basis, and that tends to work well for us and works well for Press Start. So we both know exactly where we stand, and support always meets all our needs. Yeah, our annual and regular strategy meetings, I have to admit, to start with, I was unsure as to the benefit of it, but when you're trying to run a business and you're busy day to day, we don't naturally stop and step back to consider what our plans should be for the coming year, or how the plans for the last year have worked out. So we find the meetings extremely good to consider all aspects of our support, both on hardware requirements, software requirements, and then the other fringe things that is always difficult with a business like ours. How much should you spend on security and virus protection and things like that? And we find that the balance is also good, because you can spend endless amounts of money on some of these things, but for us it's getting value for money that's the most important thing, together with meeting our requirements, and the meetings therefore allow us to gauge what we want to do in the coming year, and tend to work very well. Are Press Start a supplier or business partner? An interesting question, because for us they are both. We do buy from them hardware, software, support, and we could probably go to PC World and buy those sorts of things. But we want more than that. We want someone that we can trust their advice and guidance in what they do. So for us, they are 75% a supplier, but 25% are a business partner that We very much like the working relationship that we have with them, and I think it also applies the other way around. Press Start's understanding of the business is one, very important, but also extremely strong. Partly the number of years we've been working with them. It does also mean when we're considering our sort of annual strategy and IT setup, they ensure that it works well for us. We do have staff members work from home. We have a little satellite office. All needs to get linked together. We also currently have an employee based in the United States. And so they understand how we work and what we need, and therefore our IT setup is configured to match our requirements. So they do have a very good understanding, and that is, one, we like the services, but that is also why we stick with them. They understand how we work and what we're after. What do we appreciate most about working with Press Start? That's a difficult question because there are so many different aspects, and I'd have to say that is potentially the answer to the question, is that it covers a whole host of areas. We personally get on well with the staff, the quality of their support is extremely good, they are close to hand, they understand how we work, their charges for those services are fair based on what they provide to us. So what we like most is the fact that there's a whole host of things that all work well for us. The major outcome of working with Press Start is that we have industry-leading IT infrastructure, telecommunications. Our staff are happy with what we've got. It works well, it's very reliable, it doesn't tend to go wrong. If it does go wrong, it tends to get fixed straight away. We do have to interact with some other third-party software suppliers, and again, Press Start never said this is nothing to do with us. They will work with our suppliers even if it isn't directly something that's their responsibility. So overall, the whole setup tends to work very, very well. The impact of the pandemic for everybody, and also particularly for industry, was staggering. Ignoring all the personal aspects of it, but from the business and IT, I still to this day quote a position that we had where we had 24 hours notice to shut the office, and I'd moaned for years to Press Start why we're spending so much money on IT, and on that day I found out why we were, because with 24 hours support from Press Start, all staff that remained working were able to move straight to home, had telephone contact, had IT contact, and the business carried on as normal. So, or as normal as it can be. So you phoned Balmforth after the office was shut, and the phone was answered by a member of staff. So our ability to immediately restart was exceptional, and we never ever expected to have that requirement. That was exposed even more by the fact that the majority of our competitors and even solicitors shut the doors, put the phones on hold and did nothing. We didn't, we carried on operating. We weren't able to sell properties during the pandemic, but one of the very clear and strict rules is that people had to move on a rental basis. They could move. And in this area we have significant numbers of American military members who at that point in time were sitting in hotel rooms with their children and their pets who could not stay there. So they were able to move correctly and carefully under COVID conditions. We therefore found on the rental side our market share, which normally is 45%, went up to 75%, as much as anything because most of our competitors either couldn't or chose not to operate, whereas we chose to operate under strictly controlled conditions. So I'd never want to have to go through that again, but our IT position enabled us as a business to carry on, and obviously we still reap the benefits of that to this day. Yeah, our experience generally with Press Start has to be extremely positive. As with all businesses, occasionally things go wrong, but if you've got the right relationship with somebody, which we have with Press Start and have with us, we can always have a resolution to anything like that happens. So we feel over the years it's an extremely positive experience. So our plans are very much to continue on the same theme as we are at the moment, and we're very, very pleased with the support we get. Our experience with Press Start is very, very much you get what you pay for. Our business is extremely IT dependent, and the efficiency of the business is very reliant on the IT equipment and support we get. You can get cheap services, you can get cheap suppliers, but they will never provide the support that we need to enable us to operate as successfully as we do. So whilst I moan at them every year how expensive it is, you cannot escape the fact that you do get what you pay for, and we need to pay because we need the right support. For a start, always know that's my opening remark at our reviews, but once we've got that out of the way, we move on, and they continue to advise and guide and make sure that our IT works for us going forward.